Okay, so I'm back again for the second video of this love story of mine. We shall see how many videos it ends up being. Okay, so I forgot to tell y'all when it was that day was that I went to St. Rings and met Albert. Okay, I said I was 18. My birthday is September the 21st. And that's when I turned 18 of the year 1980. I guess 6. Yeah, because we got married in 1987. 1986, September the 21st, I turned 18. Which was before I had met Albert. But it wasn't long after that. The only problem is, I don't remember all date details. I don't remember all the little details about every little thing that happened and was done and was said and all that. Who would? A genius, I guess. Anyway, so, you know how between the 21st of a month to the end of that month, which is 30 or 31, and on February it's 29 or 28, whatever. Anyway, there's not very many days left in there. So, I do not know if it was the very end, you know, still in September, that day was I went to St. Rings and met Albert, or if it was in the beginnings of October. Most likely it was in the beginnings of October. Okay. And every year, October the 31st is Albert's family reunion. The Robertson family, that's his mom's side of the family, which a lot of his dad's people would come too, plus just people that wasn't even kin. They just had their family reunion, grew and grew and grew and got bigger and bigger and bigger. They went to this up in the mountains, or the hills, I guess they called it in the mountains. It was in Louisiana. I can't remember right where. It might have been Monroe. We don't go to it anymore is the reason I can't remember. We haven't been in years. But they would go for a whole week at a time and camp out. They would take tents, they would take their camper trailers, and, you know, camp out the whole week. The main reunion day was October the 31st. I don't know if that always falls on a Saturday or not, but a lot of times it was a Saturday. Was the main day, but they camped out all week, okay? The main day is when they had their, everybody cooked different things, different people cooked. You went around, you could try foods of other people, you know, it was like a community, all these campers and all these tents, the family, sitting around for the whole week. And, you know, they walked, they had four-wheeler rides, mud rides in Jeeps that they had, and just, they had all kind of fun stuff. And then when it came the main day, and that night, which is Halloween night, they had hay rides, and but the main day they would have a dinner, you know, the big main, you know, like reunion type dinner, and you'd get in line and eat. But they also had like door prizes, and so people would bring stuff for the door prizes, you know, donate, and they had a bunch of stuff, not just one, they had a bunch of stuff. And then you would put your name in, and after dinner, when you ate on the main day, they would draw out, you know, as many door prizes they had, that's how many names they would draw out, and if they drawed your name, you got an item, something. What else? Oh, for the kids, they did piñata, you know, hanging it in a tree and blindfold the kids and turn them around. They had a stick and they'd have to hit the piñata until it busted and all the candy came raining down and they would get it and all that. That's their type of reunion they had. And it was always around, you know, the weekend, October 31st for Halloween, but the week before, they would go and camp out the whole week. So, Melissa and Tina started telling me about that reunion. And since I had met Albert, you know, they was really wanting me and Albert to get together. And so they invited me to go to the reunion with them. So they talked to my mama. I did not think, the way my mama used to be back then, my mama used to be strict. Okay? And so I didn't think she would let me go. Somebody's slowly going down the road, so I was just looking, wondering if they was going to pull in. I didn't think she would let me go. But they talked to her and talked her into letting me go. I was surprised. To be honest, I was really surprised. But so I started planning to go to the reunion with them. And so, of course, Albert, you know, was relayed the message and knew I was going to be coming and all of that. So, he was the one that had came. Now, remember, I lived in Mississippi. He lived in Louisiana. So, he came over, and so all of these cousins that's mine, that's his too, lived in Mississippi around me. They used to live in Louisiana around him, but then they had moved to Mississippi and was living around me. So anyway, he was coming at the beginning of the week to pick up Aunt Kathy and the kids, which was Tina, Melissa, and Amanda at that time, because like I said, Sissy was married, and Bo, he wasn't married, but he didn't live at home. So he was coming to get them, to take them to Louisiana to the camp out reunion for the whole week. And they had invited me to go. Well, Marlon and Marlon is Sissy's husband, they were going to go too, but they're a married couple. They both had jobs and worked, so they had to stay home all week and work, but they were going to go on the weekend. So we planned it for me to ride with them, because I wasn't going to go. I had to babysit too, so I couldn't go and stay the whole week. I was only going to go on the weekend, so I was going to ride there with Sissy and Marlon. So that's what we did. So I was all excited, you know, they had told me all about the reunion, and I was all excited. And I was excited about getting to see Albert again. There comes that same car back. Going by real slow. Anyway, so we get to his house, which is his mom and dad's house, and so we go in and we sit down, and there's a lot of people there in the living room. When we get there and walk in, his mama was actually in the kitchen cooking. So I didn't actually meet her right off. But there was people in the living room, okay? And I didn't know any of them. They didn't really introduce me to any of them. We walked in, and they started greeting and hugging and talking. So I sat down on the couch by Sissy. And I was just sitting there, you know, I was quiet and shy, and I was just sitting there listening to them talk, and Sissy and all of them was talking with them and everything. And through just listening to them talk, I learned that Albert was not there yet, that him and Aunt Kathy and Tina and Melissa and all of them, the ones that I knew and was close to and would feel comfortable around, was off at the reunion site, and, you know, having fun and doing different things and activities, and that they would be in a little bit. So, and it didn't take too long, so I sat there on the couch and just, you know, I stayed by Sissy and just listened to everybody talk. So it wasn't too long that through the back door comes in Aunt Kathy and all the girls and Albert. And from their kitchen, it was like 3 steps down into the living room. So they came in and stood right there on the steps in the doorway. And they were all excited. They looked rambunctious. Their hair, they kind of had mud splatters all over them. They had been mud riding in a four-wheeler type Jeep type thing. Mud riding, which of course you ride through mud, it's going to splash up on you and everything. And they were telling about their mud riding adventures. They just started in on that right away. He didn't even look at me. He didn't speak to me. He didn't say hi. He didn't say, well, you did come after all, or something other, you know, nothing. He was being Albert. He's always been this way, and I should have learned my lesson right then. I should have ran. Anyway, so they were just talking and describing their mud riding adventures and all this, him and Aunt Kathy together. And see, him and Aunt Kathy grew up. She kind of lived when he was a lot younger as a teenager, and she was a teenager before she got married. She lived, because her mom died early, you know, before that, and she lived with them, you know, she's his mama's sister, and they're close in age, not real close, but kind of close in age, so they kind of grew up together, so they kind of feel like they're brother and sister in a way. They even had like pillow fights and stuff like that. They've told stories about all that. So anyway, they were enjoying standing there together, telling about their mud riding and all this kind of stuff. And after a while, you know, we're still sitting there on the couch, and after a while, Sissy looks up there at Albert and says, Albert, where is your manners? Are you not going to speak? And kind of pointed her hand like towards me. And he just, you know, he did his little nonchalant, yeah, hey, you know, or whatever thing, you know. Anyway, so, you know, I don't know how much time passed, how much time we stayed there, but eventually we all went to the reunion site, and just, you know, it was still daytime, and we just hung out, and we went walking, and just, you know, enjoyed life. They were showing me around, and, you know, it was him, and then he had two cousins, which was Roy, the one that lives in Slidell and comes here a lot, and y'all see on my camera. They were like close cousins, Albert and Roy was, and then they have another cousin they was close to named Josh. So it was them three, plus me, Melissa, and Tina, and so we was just all hanging out, and they was walking me around and showing and explaining the reunion and introducing me to people, and yeah, I was having fun and all this kind of stuff. Well, late that night, well, actually before that, we end up going back to his house to get a mattress and go back to the reunion site, because they didn't have a tent for us, nor a camper trailer and stuff like that. And so, and I think I'm getting ahead of myself. I believe I am, yep. I'll back up in a minute. So, so we got a mattress, went back to the reunion site, and what it was, he had a pickup truck, but the back end of the pickup truck had a camper over it, you know, little, you know, those little bitty short campers. So the mattress was, we put the mattress up in the truck, and the mattress in there in the back end of the truck was where me, Tina, and Melissa slept, on that mattress in the back of the truck, and he slept in the front bed of the truck on the seat. And it was just one night that we spent there like that. So we had went and got the mattress and brought it back. Now, before I go any further, because I actually forgot and left something out, let's backtrack to the house before we went to the reunion site. Finally, after a while, I got around where people was in and out. People got up and was walking around. So I got up and started walking around, and I had made my way, you know, I'm following Sissy and Tina and Melissa and stuff like that, and I had made my way into the kitchen where his mom was at cooking. And so I finally got to meet her. They introduced me to her. And when they introduced me to her, I found out a very big surprise. When they introduced me to her, they told her who I was. They told her that I was Aunt Irene's niece. See, they knew Aunt Irene because Kathy, Aunt Kathy, Albert's aunt, is Albert's mama Ida's sister. She married my cousin Jimmy, which is Sissy and Tina Melissa's daddy. I hope y'all are gonna stay straight with me here on this. And Jimmy's mom was Aunt Irene, and I'm Aunt Irene's niece because her sister Lois is my mama and all this kind of stuff. So when they introduced me and told me who I was, she looks up at me and her eyes get real big. She had heard about me, I'm sure, about Albert meeting me. I don't really know if she realized then who I really was, or if this was when she first realized it or what. Anyway, she looks up to me and she said, "Yeah, I know you." And I look at her and I say, "You do?" She said, "Yes." She said, "I actually held you as a baby." And I said, "What?" But what it was, when Kathy and Jimmy's my cousin, Kathy's Albert's aunt, when they got married, okay, at their wedding, my mama was there, okay, Aunt Green's sister. Her son is getting married. My mama's nephew is getting married. She was there. She had not long had me. I was a newborn baby. Albert was a 6-year-old little boy running around playing, setting firecrackers and garbage cans outside by the road. It is Uncle Carter. And so, and you know how when somebody meets somebody for the first time, and if they have a little baby, you know, they want to hold them and stuff like that. So Ida had held me as a baby, not knowing that she was holding her future daughter-in-law, that I was going to marry her son Albert. So that was a surprise to learn, and cool to learn, you know, that hey, my mother-in-law held me as a baby, not knowing that I was going to marry her son, you know. So that was neat. So that happened back at the house. Then we go to the reunion and having fun, and here comes an interruption. I'm vlogging, telling a story. I'll be back. It's 17 minutes anyway. Bye. Toodaloo.